Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Josh Copeland, and welcome to another episode of The Wine Down. This is the second time we're doing Facebook Live because the first one was so amazing. I got amazing questions, amazing feedback, and so I thought I'd do it for you guys again, especially since we're in this quarantine. Everybody is stressed out, so this is the perfect time to sit with your boy Josh and sip on some wine. Today, we're going to go over something. We're going to go over a white here because we're always going over reds. And so I wanted to do something a little bit different, but I wanted to be a little bit familiar, right? This is another Josh Sellers wine. It's a Pinot Grigio, the first Pinot Grigio on the Wine Down. So for those who are watching in Facebook Live, thank you for tuning in. You guys are going to witness history right now. So this is Josh Sellers. It's a Pinot Grigio. Top 20% in the world, 3.8 on Vivino. So Pinot Grigio is a little on the drier side when it comes to the white wines. You've got your sweeters like the Moscatos and the Rieslings and those. But if you want to go along with the dinner sides, you want to go with your Chardonnays, your Pinot Grigios, and that good stuff, right? So Pinot Grigio, this one right here, it's got the same elements of a it's got the same elements of a Chardonnay, but it's a little more on the drier side, and it's really good with spicy foods, and your typical white meats like chicken and fish. So if you want to try this one right here, Josh Sellers, one of my personal favorite brands. One, because his name is freaking amazing, but honestly, he's got some really quality wines. I mean, we're talking about easy high 3s and 4s. I wouldn't be surprised if they scored at least an 80 or 90 on average on the point system when it comes to wines. But yeah, like I'm saying, if you guys want to try out a good Pinot Grigio, I mean, I'm already assuming it's delicious, but we're going to try it out right now to see just how delicious it is. So we swirl it around a little bit. By the way, like I've always mentioned before in the past, you can put whites in the fridge because it doesn't do too much to the taste. However, you start putting reds in the fridge and it gets too cold and it messes with the flavor and it's not good and it tastes like syrup, and well, we don't want that. So anyway, here we go. Yeah, a little bit on the drier side. For sure. But it's still delicious. I think that this would be really, really good with a chicken dish, specifically a fish dish. But I think it would be the best with spicy food because it's on the drier side. And when you're eating spicy food like Thai food, like spicy, chicken rice, your best bet is definitely to go Pinot Grigios. So what are we going to be talking about today? First of all, before I get into myself, how are you doing? Okay, like I said, eventually what I want people to do is when they see the Wine Down to grab their bottle of wine and then enjoy their bottle of wine as I'm enjoying my bottle of wine, so that we can kind of just sit and talk and chill and hang out after a long day of hustling and bustling and crushing it and getting it and doing whatever it is we got to do as far as closing clients, booking appointments, closing deals and projects and all this good stuff. Every now and then you need a time to kind of just relax. Everybody wants to talk about hustle culture this and grind that. Well, guess what? Now we're on lockdown. We're hanging out in quarantine. This is the perfect time to just chill and sit back and plot for the year ahead. Everybody wants to wait until 2021, January. No, F that. We can do that right now, and we can start with a glass of wine. So, I want to talk about what they don't tell you when it comes to offers and specific promotions and things like that. For those who don't know, I'm a copywriter and I help men's lifestyle coaches sell their courses online with copywriting services. And I'm going to tell you guys what it is that they don't tell you in the industry. So if you ever wanted to learn something along the lines of copywriting as a skill or marketing in general, especially when it comes to like dating coaches and things like that, they kind of emphasize on what everybody else is emphasizing on. So every dating coach out there will tell you things like, oh yeah, guys just want to get laid. They just want sex. They just want a girlfriend. They just want this and that. They never talk to you about how to get those things, right? They'll have courses on on, their methods and systems and all that stuff, but there's nothing really that separates them from every other dating coach out there. A lot of these programs and a lot of these offers, they have these claims that aren't substantial, have no proof behind them, and they kind of just, they don't work. People don't believe them because they keep getting offers every single day. I mean, you're looking at like hundreds and hundreds of ads in one sitting a day, for the hours that you spend on social media. So everybody's trying to tell you the same promise. What separates a good dating coach in this instance is the kind of coach that can create a specific mechanism or big idea that's different than everybody else. For example, right now I'm working with a really awesome, he's not a dating coach, he's a men's lifestyle specialist. Really, really awesome, the best of his kind, the only of his kind, really. And rather than being like, oh, we're gonna work on men's stuff, I'm a men's lifestyle coach, I'm gonna help them be better at life, be more confident, be more, whatever. Okay, well, how are you gonna do that? That'll usually stump most dating coaches. That'll usually stump most men lifestyle coaches. What we went ahead and did is we created 3 main things that separated him from anybody else. The first thing we did is we gave him a big idea. Now, what is a big idea? A big idea is basically an extraordinary idea that sums up what the product does and keeps you asking why. It poses the question of a conversation that nobody's having. It creates a conversation nobody's having. For example, dating coaches out there, they help men with their confidence to women to get laid, right? Okay, cool, that's awesome. Well, what about that is interesting? Well, what if I told you that there was a way to hack into your unconscious mind in just 15 minutes a day to boost your confidence automatically as a man? Now you're thinking, oh, what is that? And then you want to learn more about it. Well, that's the big idea. And so when we crafted this idea, it was it's enough to get people interested to read through the sales letter. The 3 things that will set you apart from pretty much any other person in your industry, whether you're a dating coach, whether you're, whatever. The first thing was the big idea. Now, what is a big idea? A big idea is just an expression of an extraordinary idea summed up in a way that everyone, whether they're young or old, can understand. I'll explain further. So, for example, when this particular coach that I'm working with, Hypnotica, I'm working with Hypnotica right now. So we wanted to come up with an offer that was gonna really shift the paradigm for masculinity, okay? I needed to find a way to separate him from all the other posers and dating coaches and people out there who think they know what they're talking about but really don't. So what we did was we came up with a big idea. Now, it's easy to say something along the lines of, I'll help men with their confidence. Because you can go on Facebook right now and you scroll and find at least 100 ads about boosting men's confidence. But what if you turned around and you flipped that idea and made it an extraordinary idea? What if instead of just boosting a guy's confidence, you can hack in and redesign their unconscious mind so you can boost their confidence automatically in just 15 minutes a day? Now all of a sudden you have an intriguing conversation that no one else is having, and it causes you to want to know more about how that works. So that's a big idea. Another example of this is a different niche. This is when I was working with my mom as a massage therapist. Everybody uses massage, right? Everybody, massage, whatever. She wanted to do massage couples therapy, and that's cool. But what if we made it and we took that ordinary idea and made it an extraordinary idea? What if instead of just giving regular massages, we taught them a specific touching technique that caused your partner to fall deeper in love with you? Now it's like, wait a second, whoa. Now I need to know more about this, right? So these big ideas, they present an idea, but they present it in such a creative, extraordinary way that it grabs somebody's attention so that they can learn more about that. So that's the big idea. The second thing that you need to really set apart yourself from all your competitors is the mechanism for the problem. Okay? Now, how does this work? So, with a mechanism for a problem, the first thing you need is a story. Now, in your story, you're talking about, oh yeah, like I was just like you at one point, reader, and I went through all of the experiences that you're going through. So back to dating. In this case, it's like, yeah, man, I had no game. Girls wouldn't talk to me. I was afraid to flirt with them and get sexual because I didn't want to be a creep, yada, 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 yada. And you start talking about all of these things. And then once you have that taken care of, like once you have all of these pain points, understood, then people feel like the people who are reading it, they feel like you are now understanding their pain. You're hopping into their life, you're hopping into their shoes, and you're walking in a mile in their shoes, and they're like, wow, he gets me. And once you've established that, then you bring on the problem. You bring on the mechanism of the problem, right? So if we're talking about dating, right? And I'm like, oh, I have all these problems and blah, 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 blah. In another case, right? It's not so much, oh, I don't know how to talk to girls or whatever. It's the mechanism problem. So the mechanism problem is never the other person's fault. The mechanism of the problem is that they are doing something in ignorance. So it's because they don't know a specific thing, which is why they keep doing what they're doing and getting the same results that they don't want. Another dating coach that I'm working with, that I'm writing for, his whole thing is, his mechanism was, oh yeah, like I didn't know how to, when I first started, gaming girls, and I didn't know how to talk to girls, I didn't know how to do it. Well, what I didn't realize was that I was stimulating women with negative stimuli, which caused them to repel away from me because, of the negative stuff. So it wasn't about what I said, it wasn't about what I wore, it wasn't about this. It was because I was creating a bad vibe in them. And this vibe, this act is called negative emotional stimuli. So it's like, oh, okay, so this mechanism for the problem, when you give it a name, then it's like, then you diagnose their problem in a really big way. So to put it simply, if you go to the doctor and you're experiencing symptoms but you don't really know what's wrong, I don't know, doctor, I'm coughing and I'm sneezing and I don't really know what it is, and they go, oh, okay, well, do you have headaches? Yeah. Do you are you aching all over yourself? Oh yeah, I'm aching there. And let me guess, when you try to drink something or eat something, your throat is really itchy. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, cool. So you have a cold. When you give it a name, it's like, oh, I have a cold. That's what's wrong. And then when they have a pinpoint, it's like, okay, well, how do I get rid of the cold? And when they start asking, how do I get rid of the cold? Then you got something, right? Because regardless of what it is, now that they understand what the problem is, now they want to figure out how to get rid of that problem so that they can move on and have happy lives. And that's when you start talking about the mechanism for the solution. Now, the mechanism for the solution is arguably the most important part of your offer, of your promotion. I would say it's the most important thing, because with the mechanism of the solution, I tell you what, this is the thing that no one else has. And the cool thing about a mechanism of the solution is that anyone with a product has it. They just have to figure out what it is, and that's why they pay me the big bucks to help them figure out what it is, right? I'm gonna tell you guys how to do that, but first I gotta. Coley, is that you? What's going on, Sensei? I hope all is well with you. I love watching your Instagram and listening to you, watching you lip sync your favorite songs. It's really awesome. Anyway, the mechanism of the solution. By the way, little short thing about Coley. Coley actually was one of the first mentors that I ever had. She taught me everything there was to know about confidence, how to stand up straight and walk in my high school with confidence. And it was arguably one of the fastest ways I was able to gain respect from my peers. So shout out to Coley. I will always love you. You will always have a place in my heart, no matter what. Thank you for everything. Anyway, so back to mechanism of the solution. So once you've got the problem, once you've demonstrated that you figured out what it is that you know, like you know that they have a cold, okay? So once you know that they have a cold, then you gotta give them the solution to fix that cold. That's the mechanism solution. So what's the mechanism solution? Well, in the case of, let's say, this other dating coach, they're creating negative emotional stimuli, they're doing this all the crazy stuff, right? Well, now, if you really want to avoid that, then you have to, instead of giving them negative emotional stimuli, you give them positive, you stop giving them negative emotional stimuli and you give them positive emotional stimuli. Okay, well, how do I do that? Now, you give them the solution. If you want to create positive emotional stimuli, you give them the attraction ladder. So now you have something, now you have the name of a solution. Boom, attraction ladder. So now that's the mechanism of the solution. Another thing, another example of this, going back to my mom, when we were doing an offer for her. So again, when we talked about how it was like, okay, well, we're gonna teach people a specific massaging technique that's gonna help your partner fall deeper in love with you, yada yada yada. Well, her mechanism solution was called the Oxy Touch. So that was the name of her mechanism. For this dating coach, his was called the attraction ladder. For Hypnotica's, his mechanism was called confident boosting power-ups. So once you have a name for the medicine to the illness or the pain points that they're experiencing, then boom, you can explain how the medicine works. So I know I keep bouncing all over the place as far as like examples. I'm gonna stick with one. In this case, I'm gonna stick with this dating coach, right? So actually, no, I'll stick with Hypnotica because I just wrote an offer for him, a VSL that's now generating over $11,000 a month, and so it works, and you can go check it out. I'll put the link. You should be able to see the link on my Instagram if you click on my bio. Also, if you're not following me, follow me. But if you want to see that video, it's called the Mythos of Masculinity program, and I'll break down how I wrote that sales letter in just a sec. So anyway, in Hypnotica's case, the whole video talks about the big idea, which is hacking and redesigning your mind in just 15 minutes a day. The problem is that a lot of guys, they're always looking at videos for confidence boosting things. We live in a society that doesn't really uplift men because everybody's always talking about toxic masculinity this and mansplaining that and just really like beating men down and all this other stuff. So men will go to YouTube to watch these confident boosting videos. They'll spend hours on YouTube and it's entertaining for the conscious mind, but what about your unconscious mind? So in order for you to fix that, so that was the pain. The mechanism for the problem was even though they're watching all these videos, the hundreds of hours of videos and looking at motivational memes, it wasn't really sticking because they're just messing with your conscious mind. They're just entertaining your conscious mind, but they're not seeking into your unconscious where all of your behaviors are every behavior that you have comes from the unconscious mind. So if you want to really install confidence in a really meaningful, permanent way, you have to install it unconsciously in your unconscious mind. And so what Hypnotica's offered was he was going to hack in and redesign your mind with his 25 years of hypnosis experience as the only men's lifestyle specialist out there. And he was going to do it with these specific power-ups. And so the only question left is, okay, well, how can I get these power-ups installed in my brain? And it only takes 15 minutes a day. Well, how do I get that going? Well, if you want to get these power-ups installed in your brain for just 15 minutes a day on a daily basis, then you have to sign up for my Mythos of Masculinity membership program. So you notice how it's not just, oh, I'm going to hypnotize you and you're going to feel more confident. It's like, no, I'm going to hack and redesign your unconscious mind with these specific power-up techniques, and then you are going to be more confident, more masculine, blah, 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 blah. So it's like the reason why you're going to feel more confident is because of this. And then what you want to do is you want to back it up with scientific evidence, because scientific evidence provides credibility, and authority. You know what you're talking about, and that's going to give people a lot more reason to trust you. So, in a nutshell, when you have a big idea that gets people curious and wants to know more, you have the mechanism for the problem, which diagnoses the reason why they're not getting the results that they want in life, or why they're feeling the pain that they're feeling. And then you give them the medicine or the solution, which is the mechanism of the solution, which then is like, hey, you know, this is what you need to fix all of these problems you're dealing with. From there, they're like, well, how do I get this problem? Boom. That's when you hit them with the product. You hit them with the product, and it's like, boom. This is what you need, and then you go from there. You give them a brief synopsis about what the product does. You tell them how it works. You freaking throw in a bunch of like, here's what you're gonna experience: benefit. Then you throw in testimonials and case studies for people who've done it, and now they're experiencing all this, the same desired results that your reader wants to experience. And then you start, showing a bunch of like testimonials. And then once you've got that all figured out, then you start going into the offer, how much it's going to cost, the money back guarantee, the bonuses that come with it, the value for all the bonuses, how they're getting all that for free, the price that they should be charging, and how you're not going to charge that price, and how you're going to really charge it for a fraction of that price to make the deal a no-brainer. And from there on, you just, you close out, and that's how you write an offer. So if you took anything from this, this episode, it's 3 things that you really need. Everything else is cool, but if you have these 3 things, your offer is likely to do well. That's a big idea that will get people that you're targeting curious. 2, a mechanism for your problem, which will basically sum up everything that they're experiencing. And 3, the mechanism for the solution, the one thing that they need to fix all their issues. And then the product where they can get that solution, and then everything else that they get with that. So that's basically how I wrote an offer, and how I wrote Hypnotica's offer to generating, $11,000 a month, and it's still growing. It's like at 11.5K right now. It's going to continue growing. It just started. It launched a week ago, and we haven't even ran ads to it yet. It's just all from his email list. It's pretty sick. So yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. That's the offer. That's the ad, and that's basically what I have for you today. If you want to see more videos, go on my YouTube, subscribe at Joshua Copeland, and you can find the Wind Down with Joshua Copeland on YouTube. If you want, you can also subscribe to my Instagram, which is Josh Wrote That. And feel free, if there's any people that you would want on the show that are local entrepreneurs that you think that you can get a ton of value from, and if there's any topics or questions that you want to discuss on the Wind Down, I'd love to hear about that. And last but not least, if there's any wines that you want to explore, that you want to feature on the Wind Down, that'd be really, really cool too. So yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe. I'd really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to get this thing to as many subscribers as possible so that we can add as much value as we can from this show. I want it to be one of the most watched shows on YouTube. I know that's a lofty goal, and everybody has that goal, but I obviously want it too, because everybody, why wouldn't you want that for your show? So that's the show. That's the episode. And my name is Josh Copeland, and I'm gonna continue drinking this delicious Josh Sellers wine. Be easy, everybody. Talk to you soon. Peace.